Hi, and thanks for clicking through to watch this video. Something a bit different from me today. All my videos so far have been on the coast, so I'm now heading to the moors. Specifically, I'm heading to the Esk Valley in the heart of the North York Moors, and to one of my favourite spots, Grommont. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Andrew, and my videos follow me around my two favourite areas, the North York Moors and the Yorkshire coast. If you enjoy the video, do give it a like and feel free to drop in your comments. And to see more of my videos around the area, make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is a place with some really interesting history, and hard to imagine now, but was once a centre point for a hive of industry in this area. I've been making a few of these videos now and again, which are quite literally wanders around particular villages and places, and I'll bring in a bit of the history and local walk, so if you want to explore the area for yourself, you have a bit of a starting point and a bit of background. As I leave the car park, this is the village sports field, currently set up for the cricket season. If you come here just for an hour or two, then there is free parking on the road here. A tip I thought you might appreciate. The road I'm walking along is called Front Street, and everything in the village is either on this road or is immediately off it. I'm now entering the main part of Grommont. The village owes its size to the discovery of ironstone in 1836, when George Stephenson's original railway from Whitby to Pickering was being built. As you can see over to my left here, although the ironstone industry is long gone, the railway does still dominate the village. Before I get to the crossing, a quick mention about this co-op society. Established during the industrial boom back in 1867, it's the oldest independent co-op society in the whole of the UK. Something they're quite proud of around here. The North Yorkshire Moors Railway's northern terminus is here in Grommont. It's the UK's most popular heritage railway and runs between here and Pickering. It was reopened in 1973 by volunteers after being closed in the 60s as a result of the beaching cuts. The railway also runs trains up to Whitby, and if you've watched part 1 of my cinder track walk, you'll have seen a couple of their trains in Whitby. The railway has been used for countless films, TV shows and music videos over the years. Most notably, it was used for the Hogwarts Express in Harry Potter. But just this year has seen Tom Cruise and Harrison Ford here, as it's been used for scenes in the next instalments of Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones. Alongside the Heritage Railway, there's an adjoining platform for the Esk Valley Railway. This connects Grommont to the main rail network, so you can get here easily by train from anywhere in the country. I'm now heading over to the Station Tavern, the only pub in the village, and the start and end of several brilliant walks in this area. You're well positioned here at the coastal end of the Esk Valley to head in several directions for walks, and Grommont is a fixture on the famous Wainwright Coast to Coast walk. As you'd expect, there are plenty of places to stay around here, but my pick has to be the bed and breakfast and holiday cottages just up the hill here. This is Grommont House, a Victorian country house which has recently been transformed into a superb place to stay. As well as the main house accommodation, there are also 2 holiday cottages which have an outlook over the station platform. As always, there'll be a link to book this place below the video. So that gives you an idea of how Grommont looks today. Now for a bit of history on the place. The first building of any note was a priory established here back in the early 13th century. As with most priories in England, it was set up by a French religious order known as the Grommont. The Grommont had 3 monasteries in England, one in Shropshire, one in Herefordshire and one here in North Yorkshire. From what I've been able to find, the priory was just to the north of here, close to the banks of the River Esk. It's now long gone, without any trace that I'm aware of, having been closed during Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries in the 1530s. If you're ever travelling to Whitby from here, as you cross the bridge over the Esk, the site of the priory was just on the left. The village itself wasn't actually established until the 1830s, during the Industrial Revolution and the demand for iron ore that was in this area. A canal was initially surveyed for the Whitby to Pickering route, but it was decided a railway would be a better option. This became one of the world's first ever railways, George Stephenson's horse-drawn Whitby and Pickering Railway. At that point, this place wasn't known as Grommont. Construction of the railway required a tunnel to be built here, so the new village was given the name of just that, Tunnel. The railway company constructed a village inn and a post office, which are still standing as the station tavern. Shortly after, it was given its name of Grommont, taken from the earlier priory, and in the 1860s it got its own ironworks and the railway completed a section connecting Grommont and Whitby directly to the northeast ports, via what is now known as the Esk Valley Line. This was very much the boom time of this village, with the ironworks employing around 500 people and operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It then got its own brickworks right here alongside Grommont House. I'm reliably informed that the house was actually built for the owner of the brickworks back in 1860. Unfortunately for those working at the ironworks, a number of factors meant demand dwindled and the ironworks was closed in 1891 and demolished shortly after. The next 10 years saw the village's population cut in half, from around 1600 to just over 800. Just over the track from the platform of the Esk Valley Line are the remaining ruins of the ironworks. Standing in the background here is the base of one of the 3 blast furnaces that used to be here, and it was these that used to run non-stop 24/7. The ironworks were supplied with ironstone from several nearby mines, which I'll be covering in more detail in my next video. The skyline of Grommont would have been pierced by smoke belching from these chimneys. The area behind here, down to the river, was where the huge amounts of waste material was dumped. That whole area was dominated by huge piles of slag, up to 15 metres high. Over the years, that was recycled and used in road building, which eventually got rid of the heaps, and now nature has begun to reclaim the village surroundings. At the same time of the demise of the ironworks, the brickworks continued to expand, and this operated successfully until it was closed in 1957. Over 60 years on, there are only a few glimpses here and there remaining of those brickworks. There's what was the main entrance wall here, and I've spoken to the current owner of this land who showed me where the kilns were. And you can see there's the structure of a building that formed part of the brickworks, which is now hidden amongst the trees. But that's pretty much it, and again here, nature is slowly claiming back the land. Despite Grommont now being a relatively small village, it still regularly attracts a lot of people. And these days, this is what they come to see. Not only is this place the northern terminus for the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, it's also where their main engine sheds are, which I'll now have a wander to. The castellated tunnel on the left is the famous tunnel that originally gave this place its name. It was designed for horse-drawn carriages, so when steam locos were introduced, the larger tunnel had to be built. I'll now take a wander through the tunnel, which was the village's air raid shelter during World War II. And that's my wander of Grommont complete. I was going to finish with a pint at the station tavern, but I'm going to save that drink for a future visit here. Instead, I'm going to end with a favourite spot of mine on the river. I hope you've enjoyed my little journey back in time today here in Grommont, and I'm looking forward to being back here soon filming a couple more videos. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, do hit the like button, it will help my channel going forward, and to see more of me wandering around the North York Moors and the Yorkshire coast, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon for the next one.